Loneliness is a common emotion that can sometimes lead to conditions like depression, anxiety, low self esteem, isolation. And if you haven't already watched my previous video on this topic, where I try and explain the various complex factors that cause loneliness, please do and identify if any of these factors might apply to you. Today, let's discuss what happens in the brain when we experience loneliness. The brain perceives and experiences loneliness as a result of its intricate neural and cognitive processes related to social connection. Now, here are a few reasons why the brain might feel lonely. You know that there is an evolutionary need for social connection because humans are social beings by nature, and throughout our evolutionary history, social connection has been vital, if for nothing else than for survival and therefore our overall well-being. So the brain has therefore developed mechanisms to seek and maintain social bonds because they provide a sense of safety, belonging, and cooperation, and of course, community. And when the brain senses that the social connection is lost, it will trigger feelings of loneliness because that's the brain's way of motivating us to seek out social connections, establish meaningful relationships. But of course, we know that each one of us is different and we need a different level of social connection to feel safe. The brain also has specific networks which are specifically dedicated to processing social information and understanding the intentions, emotions, and thoughts or actions of others. Now, these networks are situated in different regions of the brain. So they could be in the front of the brain, which we call the prefrontal cortex, in the middle part of the brain where we have the amygdala, and other regions like the insula. So when we feel lonely, the networks become less active or less engaged, impairing our ability to connect with others or perceive social cues accurately. Social interaction also plays a crucial role in regulating emotions. Interacting with others allows us to share experiences, seek support, receive emotional validation, and these are all really important to feel fulfilled and happy. And in the absence of these interactions, the brain's ability to process emotions accurately can become impaired, which means that some individuals might even feel emotionally distressed. Let me explain another aspect called cognitive biases. The brain has a propensity to focus on negative aspects or social threats. Now, this can heighten feelings of loneliness by amplifying the significance of perceived, say, for example, social rejections or exclusions or negative interactions. When this happens, the brain interprets it as an evidence of social disconnection, intensifying the experience of loneliness. Now, you know that I explain the concept of the mind lens, which is the prism through which we view the world. I say that the curvatures of the mind lens develop through the experiences that influence our view of future experiences. So using that concept, let's take the example of Mia, who experienced racism and felt judged when he was at school. So he would limit his interactions with others because he felt judged, which meant that over the years, even when he went to work, he would not engage very much with his colleagues. And he continued to feel rejected and lonely while his colleagues at work, they had very high esteem for him. Loneliness can also be associated with neurochemical changes in the brain. So the level of certain neurotransmitters like serotonin or oxytocin, as you know, they are involved in mood regulation or social bonding, may be affected in loneliness. Now, these changes in the neurotransmitter levels can influence emotions and social behaviors, contributing to the experience of loneliness again. So you can see how these different factors in the brain cause loneliness. It is important to recognize that loneliness is a complex emotional state that involves both the subjective feelings and the objective social circumstances or the environmental circumstances, and the brain's response to loneliness is a multifaceted interplay of these evolutionary, cognitive, emotional, and chemical factors, which together will shape the experience that we perceive as loneliness. On the other hand, when individuals feel lonely, it has an impact on the brain as well. So you need to think about it in the other way now. Let me explain how loneliness affects the brain, and then the cycle is perpetuated. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness can lead to changes in brain activity. The different areas of the brain that I described earlier, that are associated with social connection and reward, they are affected when individuals experience chronic loneliness. And then it affects the way the brain processes social information and experiences pleasure or a sense of fulfillment. There is also evidence to suggest that loneliness causes an increased stress response in the body. Again, the feeling of safety. Think about that. So this is the fight and flight response. And when we feel lonely, our brains perceive it as a threat, triggers the fight or flight response and release of hormones like cortisol. So we know that chronic loneliness can have negative effects on mental and physical health by a chronic stress reaction. And this can lead to different behaviors from different people. Research also suggests that individuals who experience chronic loneliness may exhibit a heightened sensitivity to social cues, whether they are positive or negative. Now, these individuals can become more vigilant to signs of rejection or exclusion, leading to increased social anxiety and difficulty in interpreting social interactions accurately. And this becomes a spiral because less interaction means less chance to learn, adapt, adjust our social skills, and then that perpetuates social isolation, anxiety. You can see how that cycle continues. In some individuals, loneliness can also affect sleep patterns. People will say that if they have felt lonely for a long time, they have difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, or just their sleep quality is not very good. And this can then impact on their next day, their levels of tiredness, their levels of attention, ability to work, and general well-being. Prolonged loneliness has also been, it has been shown to be associated with a cognitive decline. What I mean is it can affect various functions of the brain like attention, memory, decision-making abilities. The lack of social stimulation and engagement may then contribute to these changes over time. So as I said, it's the spiral. So you're lonely, you don't know how to interact properly, and it just spirals. Just note that the brain's response to loneliness is different for different individuals. It may not be the same for everyone. But understanding the potential impact of loneliness on the brain can highlight the importance of addressing and mitigating feelings of loneliness if you are experiencing it, and for you to understand how it may affect you. Now, we will discuss how to overcome loneliness in the next video, I promise. But today, let's practice this exercise. Identify a time when you have felt lonely. What were your thinking processes at the time? Did you feel negative, or were you okay about it? How did you react to others in those situations? Did you withdraw? Did you become irritable? Did you rebel? Now, from our discussions today, can you relate to why your brain reacted in that way? Watch my next video here, and if you have learned something useful, like it, share it, tell it. Tell it to all the people you know. Thank you for watching.